Hello and welcome. We'll be working on integers today. And integers, those are numbers that can either be positive or negative numbers. So positive or negative numbers. Okay? And when we think about positive and negative numbers, the best way that I can talk about that is with the number line. And the number line is shown by a line, obviously, and you have arrows that extend, they go all the way to the right and to the left, and they keep going on forever. So instead of drawing a line that goes on forever, which would be impossible for us, what we do is create a shortened version of this number line. And right in the middle of the number line is 0. So to the right we have our positive numbers, and as we keep going the positive numbers get higher and higher. So they start off with 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make that neater. 5, 6, and on and on. And interestingly enough, in the left side we also have the numbers, and they get bigger and bigger, but they get bigger in a different way. They actually get bigger in a negative way. And I think I made this a little too close, so I'm going to have to squeeze the numbers a little bit. So we have -1, -2, -3, -4, and on and on. So the more we go in this direction, the more negative they get. Okay. With integers, the trick to adding and subtracting, which is what this video is going to show you, is all based upon a couple very simple ideas. And I'm going to go through all the different scenarios, the situations in which you'll be adding positive and negative numbers. So that way you can take care of it, you can add, you can subtract with absolute clarity, and you know exactly what answer you're going to get. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's our number line. Oop. It's drifting away. Okay, so we have our number line. So really there's a couple things that we can do to add negative numbers. So we either have, for example, example 1 and example 2. In example 1 we have a negative number. Let's go ahead and say -2 is being added to a positive, let's say +3. And example 2 we have a positive number, let's say +4, added to a negative, we'll say 5. One of the really nice ways of adding numbers to get you to have an understanding and a feel for it is to use what I call dots. And here are dots. Okay. The way the dots work is, for every positive number, I'll go ahead and say it's positive. I go ahead and create what I call a white dot. So this dot is just a circle with it's supposed to be white, and in fact I'll go ahead and do that right now. I'll make it white for this moment. There we go. For the negative numbers, I create a black dot. So for every positive number, I create a white dot. For every negative number, I create a black dot. And the trick is, a positive number, when you add a positive number to a negative number, it cancels out. So let's let's go ahead and think of it as addition. So it cancels out, so it turns into 0, and that's exactly what we want. So let's go ahead and use our examples. I'm going to create some white dots right here. Oop. Let's go ahead and do black dots right here. 2 black dots to 3 white dots. And with that, I will go ahead and put these one. Hopefully these can be easily seen. If not, I may have to just go back to a plain black line as a circle. Okay, so something like this. So I have 2 black dots and 3 white dots. They will go ahead and cancel out. And that is the beauty of it. For every black dot, I cancel out a white dot, and for every white dot, I cancel out a black dot, and whatever's left over is magically our answer. So when we add -2 to +3, we get one positive number left over. So when we think about it, it's like we're starting at -2 on the number line right here, and we're adding 3 spots that make us go to the right. 1, 2, 3. And then we are left with the final answer, which is +1. So we start at -2, and then we add 3 steps to the right because the right is positive. 1, 2, 3. And +1 is what's left over. So you can think of it as a number line answer. You can think of it as an answer that's created with dots. Or if you're really good with this, you probably don't even need this tutorial, and you can just go ahead and combine those numbers in your head. But for those who do need the number line or the dots, you have either option, and either one is perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and try example 2. So in this one we have a positive number and a negative number. Let's go ahead and make our dots. I'm not even thinking about what the numbers mean. I'm not even wasting my energy to trying to figure it out. I just know that I go ahead and create white dots for positive, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm adding them to 5 black dots. For every white dot, I cross out a black dot. For every black dot, I cross out a white dot, and I keep going. Alright, and this time I have 1 black dot, which means the answer is -1. So this is -1. And let me go ahead and put this right here, that this answer was +1. Just so that I'm clear on both of those. Okay, now with this one, same thing. We go ahead on the number line, and we start off with +4. +4 is right here. Right here, +4. But in this case, I want to add 5 steps to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my new answer. So I start with 4 and then I move 5 steps to the left because this negative sign is telling me to go in the negative direction. Whereas this one was telling me, this 3 was telling me to go in the positive direction. This -5 is telling me to go in the left direction. Okay? That's only when we add. And that's another thing I want to mention. Dots, you can only use them when you're adding. So I'm going to go ahead and, this is huge. This is very important. You can only add dots together. If you try to subtract it, that's going to come out completely different. Alright, you can only use it when you're adding. Okay, the next set of examples, I want to go ahead and, so for example 3, I want to add 2 negative numbers together. Example 3. Two negative numbers together. So I can choose, let's try -5 plus -5. 4. That's fine. And then adding -5 to -4, that's incredibly easy. It doesn't get easier than that. We can put 5 black dots, and it's being added to 4 black dots. None of these dots cancel out because only the white and the black dots cancel each other out. So if we have just a bunch of black dots, really what we're getting is 9 of these black dots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of these black dots. And that makes this a negative number. Okay, so that's pretty easy. And you guys already know how to add two positive numbers together because that was something that you guys went over in first grade and in second grade, and you guys have been using this ever since. So I'm not going to go over that option of two positive numbers being added together. So that's really easy. The next example that I want to talk about is when I'm subtracting, and this is where things get real tricky. And I will explain how to get past the trickiness of it. Okay, but it requires that you really pay attention. Okay, example 4. Now I'm dealing with subtraction, whereas examples 1, 2, and 3 have been dealing with addition. Example 4 is going to be dealing with subtraction. Okay, so let's say I have 3 minus 5. It's straightforward, simple enough. Okay, so I'm going to move this up. Okay, 3 minus 5. Another way of thinking about this is that it's 3 minus a positive 5, right? Within any number, we know that it is positive. As long as it doesn't have a minus sign, then it's a positive. Okay, so this positive, it's understood that it's there. I will highlight that. So that is very important to understand that. Okay. Well, if it's 3 minus a plus 5, another way of thinking about this, another way of answering this is I can actually switch those signs, and I'll explain what I mean. So I can switch these two signs. So the positive moves over here where the negative is at, the subtraction sign. This positive sign moves to the subtraction sign, and the subtraction becomes a minus sign. So the new way that we can write this problem is 3 plus a negative 5. Well, we've already gone over this type of problem. We've already gone over addition of positive and negative numbers, and let me go ahead and pull that up. We went over that in example 2. Example 2 is a positive number, a positive 4 plus a negative 5. So this one, in this case, is a 3 plus a negative 5. Okay, I'll use my dots again, but the big thing is switching. So the dots tell me that I have 5 black dots, and they're being added to 3 white dots. I know that I cancel, and we'll do that right now. We have 1 white dot cancels out 1 black dot, 1 black cancels 1 white, and then 1 white cancels 1 black, and the answer that I have left over